where it started.
Now, we're going to jump right into it, right? And then we're going to go back and forth because you know me staying, we go all over the place.
Not at all.
We have,
That's
we
why
have,
I'm here tonight.
we have a couple of youngsters. Let's start with the females.
Yeah.
Who, I talk a lot about the youngsters. It's one of the things I like to do because I think sometimes they're overshadowed, right? So we have the CLAYTON twins. We have Brianna LYSTON that I just mentioned. We have yeah, there's so much Karika, Renee, Alana. We have this plethora of young. I mean, we're talking about the sprints now, the 100, 200.
Yeah.
We have a Brianna Williams, still a youngster. So I'm going to start with a hard one. A question I know a sports analyst will never like to speak about. But we are virgins, so we can't talk.
All right.
Do you think most of these girls, if they remain healthy, will be able to transition successfully? Because we see tremendous talent in them, like insane talent. But let's say they're not injured.
I heard you mention a genius earlier, our dear friend, my brother, who
Yes.
passed, and I'm having an issue to come to grips with that he's not here with us. The World Indoor starts in the morning, and I almost text him this evening to ask him what time and all them things. So, he's still with
Yes.
us. And he can tell you that what we're seeing is, and it's something that we've spoken about. It's a new wave of just phenomenal talent. When we had a high school athlete that could run 10.92 seconds last year in high school, that would be a national record in
Yep.
most countries in the world.
Yes.
That
Yes.
would be the national record. Um, you just mentioned about the size of the country and our impact at the NCAA. You know, we don't have as much athletes that go to the NCAA as East Africa or West Africa. The Africans send athletes to the NCAA by the plane load. Now, next weekend, I hope to be at the NCAA indoors. We have four men in the shot put final, in shot put qualifier. Four men. The NCJCAA national start on Friday. Of the 13 men that qualified for the shot put finals, six of them are Jamaicans. I'm
Wow.
talking about shot put now, because we're known as the sprint factory and whatever. But our field events, Peter, is taking off. The throw, the jumps, the of the four horizontal jumps next weekend, three of them, the men's long jump, the men's triple jump, and the female long jump are led by Jamaicans. Luke Brown in the triple jump, Wayne, Wayne in the long jump, Akila in the long jump, and the two high jump. The leaders are from Jamaica as well, Distin and Beckford. So for a country that doesn't have 3 million people that live here and ten in the in around, we have punched way above our weight as far as track and field is concerned. Now back to the question now, if they are healthy, if they are free of I don't I honestly think expecting them to make it to the Olympics this year is a long shot. I'm not saying it can't happen, it could happen, but when you get up against a fit Hera, Thompson Hera, Jackson, it's going to be Nelson. Don't count out. She got injured last year. Unfortunately, she's gonna come back this year, and I'm sure she's gonna come back tough. So,
And
but
Shelly, don't leave her
Shelley,
to
I
that because
mean,
she intends to walk out and leave a
I
huge
can't
track.
imagine the pressure on her now that this is her swan song. She has to make the team.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to make the team. So I don't see any of the youngsters. They could. I'm not saying that they can't make the team. It would be a long shot, but come next year World Championships, and I hear we're gonna have a World Championships every year. It's not something I like. Honestly, personally, I think water done the product. However, going forward, we are going to claim our title as the fastest country in the world.
Yeah,
Especially on the side of the female.
yeah. No, that's the other thing now. There's one discussion that I see all over the internet. I mean, I have talked about it because I remember when all our athletes were being sent overseas to train, right? I know you know this was coming. We have discussed this on many occasions.
Yes.
I remember when was it? It was Steve Francis and Bruce James and those guys went as I think it was Asafa. Was that no?
Yeah, Safa.
Yeah, and said, "Hey,
Safa, Ainsley War.
yes, right,
Yes.
um, junk food twins. What? Junk food. John Epic says, junk food twins still into the sub tens. Okay, anything is possible when super diet is in. I get your point, John. Very valid point. You see, the people that have that come here, Paul.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, I remember back in the day when we send out all our talent, and maybe 10% of them would.
We had no choice.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And then when UTech and Bruce and those guys got together, and we assembled that powerhouse force that created a dominance of Jamaica over that period of time, like 13 years of my 12 to 13 years. Now, what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing Alana REID, which I think a lot of people were alarmed, but we don't know why she made the decision of going to work with Shakari. We have no clue, and I don't think we have a right to question. But what I've known of Alana REID and her family, they're conscientious, smart people, so they must know.
Yeah.
But we do have a constant conversation here about our talent going into the collegiate scene. Do you think there's an advantage and or disadvantage as the sports analyst here, as the brilliant person here? Do you think there's an advantage?
Peter, until 2008, and this is not my opinion now, this is a fact. Until 2008, every single medal that Jamaica won in the World Championships and the Olympic Games came from athletes who went and trained in the United States or in England. Mm-hmm. So until racers had their set up, until MVP, we didn't have a choice. It is not cheap or easy to train an athlete up to the superstar world championship level. And yes, we've had cases where athletes left here as stars, went away and did not make it to the next stage. It happens in life. They will tell you that of every single group of our class of athletes in any sport in the world, if you track them from juniors to professional, less than 3% or 4% will actually sign a professional contract. So we have done our own fair share, Peter, of burning out here.
Yeah. I know, I've seen that.
All in the world, all in of champs. Mm-hmm. There were coaches and schools that champs and champs glory was the be all and end all of everything. So we were burning out athletes. One of the worst things for me to say, Peter, is young athletes trapped up going to run a race with like bandages everywhere. That bothers me. You know, there's no reason why a class 2 athlete should run through some injuries. All right. Said that. I had this conversation this week. Every single decision that is taken, whether to go away or stay here, must be made on an individual basis. I have a program that I help athletes, young athletes, high school athletes, to get into the NCAA system. I've been doing that for a little while now, and there are some who can stay here and do what they have to do. Many others will go away because they're also going to get a degree. If you go to certain schools, Peter, at Texas or Arkansas, a scholarship is worth sometimes up to $70,000 a year.
Whoa.
Do the maths. That's 155 to 1. 70,000. You are not only going to get world-class coaching, but you're going to get world-class medical, nutrition. You're in school. It's not the 70s where you could get somebody to write your papers for you. You must write your own papers now. You have to, so you are approaching scholarship. And then remember now, again, unless you're more than Ati, unless you are one of your your sports career, which some people think is an oxymoron, because by the time we're 35, we have retired or retiring.
Yes, that's
The,
true.
the lifespan now, people are alive until they're 80 now and older. So if you retire at 35, you probably have another 45 years to live. What do you do if you don't make? And only a handful, Peter, only a handful are going to be rich.